Hello, welcome to the third episode of Lando Show. My name is Lando Johnson, and I appreciate you watching this episode because this episode I'm going to be giving you my movie-going experience review of The Jungle Book. Real quick, I do it in 4 steps. I talk about the atmosphere, I talk about the trailers, talk about the movie, and then I give you my score and why. Right off the bat, the atmosphere was awesome. There was about three-fourths full. There was kids, grandparents, parents there, and I was there with some of my best friends. We watched the movie in 2D. We heard to watch it in 3D, but I'm not big on 3D, so we watched it in 2D. But the trailers, right off the bat, we got Ratchet and Clank, and then we got the Angry Birds, Finding Dory, and then we got the BFG. Out of all those movies, I'm really looking forward to Finding Dory because I grew up watching Finding Nemo all the time. I watched that movie a lot when I was younger, and actually Finding Dory is in my top 5 most anticipated list of 2016. Very looking forward to this movie. To see how they make their own story for Dory, and I'm sure Pixar would do an awesome job. But the movie Jungle Book starts right out. You see the Disney logo, the castle logo, and then you see the transformation to live action right off the bat, and you realize, hey, this movie is going to look really good because in this movie, everything that is real in the movie is only Mowgli. Mowgli is the only thing real in this movie, and maybe a couple things that he holds with his hands, but everything he walks on is not real. From the leaves on the ground to the birds that you see in the sky, absolutely not real. And that's what makes this movie really good. But going off from the beginning, Mowgli's running through the trees, and Bagheera pounces on Mowgli, and Bagheera looks amazing. Like he looks like a real creature, animal, right there on screen talking to Mowgli. Unbelievable how and there's some beautiful shots, especially the one that they walked right across the waterfall at the beginning, and Mowgli and Bagheera's talking. Unbelievable how good this movie actually looked. And the story goes on. They go through a drought and they come together at a watering hole. All the animals come together at a watering hole. And it's a peaceful watering hole. So like all the animals, if they hate each other, they can't fight here. There's no fighting going on here. And Shere Khan shows up at the watering hole. Shere Khan realizes that there is a man among the jungle animals, and Shere Khan does not like it because well, later on in the movie you figure out why. But Shere Khan makes a threat at Mowgli and says, "I will take you down and kill you when the water rises above this rock." And so some of the story keeps going on. There's murmurs talking about it. And then it starts raining. Mowgli realizes, hey, I gotta go. I gotta leave because they're gonna kill me. Shere Khan's gonna come for me. And Bagheera's telling him that he hears people tell him he's gotta go because he's gonna cause havoc in the jungle. And then so Mowgli decides to go, and Bagheera follows him and actually chaperones him to the man village. And Mowgli's still kind of torn in between and wondering, why do I have to leave? And I kind of want to go, but I don't. And so he's torn in between because he was raised by the wolves. And later on in the story, they go on, and every time there was a jump scare in this movie, it worked perfectly because Shere Khan, every time he would pounce. Especially then the very first jump scare, Bagheera tells Mowgli, get down, and next thing you know, Shere Khan jumps out of nowhere and tackles Bagheera and all that, and Mowgli runs off into the woods and gets lost, and Shere Khan realizes he has to attract him back to the jungle. So Mowgli gets lost and he stumbles upon Kaa. And Kaa is an interesting character in this movie because I didn't really like how they how the scene was. I liked the character, it was awesome, but like the scene felt like it didn't fit. It told a story of how Shere Khan has a scar on his face from the fire, which the animals call it the red flower. But he has the scar on his face. He got it from Mowgli's father, who was protecting Mowgli at the time when he was a little child, but Shere Khan kills Mowgli's father. As the snake, and all this is going on as the snake is hypnotizing, and Mowgli's seeing it, realizing what happened. Bagheera finds Mowgli is still going on in this hypnotized state. Mowgli finds Bagheera, and Bagheera takes him under his wing and gives him to the wolf family, and he overwatches. And so anyway, and then it pops back to a shot, and I'm scared of snakes. And every time I seen the snake on screen, like I was scared every time because it looks so good and real. But Kaa's about to eat Mowgli, and then it stops the screen, like, and it goes black. But when it goes black, you hear a roar, like a bear roar. And when Baloo came on screen, it was the Disney magic kicked up another level. Like, I forgot how that scene didn't really fit with Kaa. It didn't matter no more because of Baloo. How good Baloo was. Bill Murray did an awesome job. Did the voice acting for Baloo, and he looked amazing. And as the story goes on, Mowgli and Baloo, they become friends. And then Bagheera finds Mowgli and tells Mowgli, "Hey, you got to go to the man village." And the only way Mowgli goes to the man village is because of Baloo. Baloo tells him, "Hey, we were never friends," because Baloo realizes the situation and he has to go. So Mowgli don't want to go because he's a child and he don't know yet that he's going to be killed. And so Baloo tells him to go, and he runs up in the trees, and he ends up getting kidnapped by some monkeys. He's taken to King Louie. Christopher Walken did an awesome job voice acting. Everyone in this movie did an awesome job voice acting, and the cast for it was awesome. But there was one part in the King Louie thing, like I didn't feel like it fit. It was the song when Baloo and Mowgli sang "Bare Necessities." It felt perfect, like it fit, like it mixed with the movie, like it wasn't forced at all. But the King Louie song I felt like was kind of forced. I didn't really like it, but Bare Necessities were perfect, and that just added another level of awesomeness to this movie. But as the story goes on, Mowgli finds out from King Louie that one of the wolves has been killed, like a father figure to him, when he was raised up, and he realized, hey, I gotta go back and take down Shere Khan. And that story goes on. Mowgli grabs the fire, which is the red flower, which is all the animals are scared of, and he's running through the woods, and a spark falls on the ground, which I'll come back to later. But anyway, he shows up and he finds Shere Khan, and he's standing there face to face with Shere Khan, and he's gonna take him down. And all the animals from the jungle are behind Mowgli, and Shere Khan's the only one against them. And so Shere Khan chases him into the woods, and as I said, the spark started a fire. There was a fire going on in the woods, and Mowgli is up in the tree, which references back to the beginning of the movie where he fell out of the tree because of a dead branch. And how Shere Khan dies is referenced back to the beginning as the branch breaks and Shere Khan falls to his death in the fire. And this movie is just amazing. The visual effects, every time there were some parts when Mowgli, the real character, a real person, mixed in the same camera frame, like touching the animal. It didn't look all right sometimes, but but everything else looked awesome when they were together in one shot. Awesome. And this movie takes you on an adventure right from the beginning. And it's kind of fast paced. It's like an hour and 30 something minutes if I remember right. But it's quick, but it really takes you on an adventure. Jon Favreau did an amazing job, like he does with all of his movies. But I applaud Jon Favreau for what he has done with The Jungle Book. He has brought the magic back, and I don't know if there can be a better version of The Jungle Book ever be made from now on. This one is my definitive one. This is my Jungle Book. I will place it above the animated version because it's that good and that exciteful. It is an homage, like it goes back, like it references a lot to the animated version, but yet it adds some stuff. It adds its own flavor to it. But the movie was good, and I'd give it a 9 out of 10. I want to give it a 10 out of 10, but there was just a couple things I didn't like the scenes that didn't fit and the song that didn't fit. It just bumped it down 1 point to a 9 out of 10. Awesome movie, and that is my review of The Jungle Book. But real quick, the next movie I'm going to be going to see and reviewing is Civil War, Captain America Civil War, May 6th. We're really looking forward to this movie because Captain America is fighting Iron Man. You got to choose a side, and I am undecided on a side just right now. I don't know who I'm going to pick, but I hope this movie is a shocker. Hope there is something that just shocks me, shocks everybody. But I appreciate you watching this video, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you ain't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, and I appreciate it, and God bless.